Hey plant fans, I thought it might be helpful to give you a quick walkthrough of my jungle garden design and show you how I arrived at it.
So what is the attraction of jungle gardens?
It's about discovery, big leaves, steaminess, excitement.
So how do we get over the intimidation of a blank page?
I would start with a mood board actually because the feeling of the garden is going to be just as important as the look. So you will see my mood board here. I have just dashed together a few images that spoke to me. The one on the top left there it's actually a fish tank, so what, doesn't matter. And there's some monstera there. That is never going to be hard enough to survive where I am. I can ape those big leaves and I can find something that will stand up in my climate zone. And that's the kind of feel that I want to get. So it's a good place to start.
And what next?
Then I get my sketch on. You can see from my sketch, it doesn't have to be a work of art. I would then do 3, 4, 5 sketches, 30-second sketches, like nothing big. But what I'm looking for is what kind of shape looks good. Like what do I want the outline to look like? Because the plants are interchangeable to some extent, but you'll be able to tell if you have drawn something, even from an outline sketch, if it looks flat, you're going to be able to pick up on that straight away.
And now what?
Then it's time to start selecting your plants, so you've got to do a little bit of research at this point. I use books, I use the internet.
Okay, so I've picked some plants that I want to use. How should I organise them?
There are 2 guiding principles really. One is it's got to fit the site. There's literally no point in putting a plant in that's not going to survive because your ground is too boggy, or that particular plant is not going to get enough sunlight, or the plant needs shade and it's going to get scorched if it's got too much sunlight. So do your research thoroughly on what will work in your garden.
If you're enjoying the video, bookmark it with a subscribe. I'd be very grateful for that.
Second important thing, can I actually get my hands on the plants? Can you get your hands on these plants that you've picked? Especially if you're looking somewhere like Pinterest. Can you order that? Is that a plant that's only available in a country that isn't going to stock to your country? Now, I'm in the UK, so I check the RHS website. They've got a Plantfinder function on their website, and it will tell you how many nurseries stock this particular plant.
One thing we can do is use the 3-layer rule of thumb that we often find in nature. So top layer, mid layer, bottom layer.
So top level then, I've got a Dixonia antarctica, Aralia elata, Musa basjou. I want to get some height. I don't want everything to be kicking around like my waist or my knees. I do actually want a little bit of height, especially for a jungle garden, because you want the atmosphere. You're not going to get that if you don't have any height. Mid-level is more of a shrub level. For my understory, I wanted to put a bit of brightness. There's going to be some shade cast by the tree. I picked quite a yellowy fern, Dryopterus wallichiana, and the foliage of that Liriope muscari ocina comes out as a really bright white and then turns darker over time. I like to put in some carpet cover too because it's a natural weed suppressant. So the Asarum canandense, Canadian wild ginger, that's a horizontal spreader, can thrive in deep shade, and the Liriope can also thrive in deep shade. So how best to arrange your plants? One thing to remember is foliage first, flowers fade fast. So there's no point in building your entire design around the flowers. They'll come up quickly and they'll go down quickly. So to make the garden really work, you're going to have to put the foliage first. So the guiding principle that I use is to just make sure that if the leaf type is very similar to the next plant, I don't place those together. So if I have 2 large palmate plants, then I will just stick something completely different in the middle of those 2 just to break it up. Otherwise the plants will all merge into each other and you can't see what's what.
So is that it? Should we maybe do a sense check?
Whack everything into a quick chart, actually, just to make sure that it's going to work. It's a sense check, basically. So what I put in there is the plant name, the height, the width, just so I can check that it is going to be interesting in the spring and the summer and the autumn. It's a good sense check.
And this is it, the final design. So I have represented each plant with a little circle there, and I have calculated how many of each plant I'm going to need based on the size of the plant, which I got from the RHS website. That's the ultimate size of the plant. Obviously, they're going to be a lot smaller when you first buy them, but the idea is that this garden is going to grow in. And that's it, ready to go. I've got everything I need on that final piece. So hopefully you found this helpful, a little walkthrough of the process that I use. If you want some real life inspiration on jungle plants, then check out this video, and I will see you in the next video.